I met a man last night who's seen a lot of death, who's experienced a lot of death. I thought I had experienced a lot of death, and as you saw the funeral card on my icon corner, people close to me, many relatives, um, among others. But he has experienced more death from friends and family in the most unspeakable, terrible, violent ways of getting out of this world. And we were talking, and naturally, orthodoxy always comes up because it's just part of who I am. It's just too natural. And I was talking about the Satanic Bible with him, and if we die in a car crash right now, they're gonna think I committed apostasy and I won't get a burial. Well, I don't go that far, but he he told the story that he said people say the rudest things because he had a lot of loss. We were kind of laughing about the things that people say, like, "Oh, well, they're in a better place now. They're in heaven now." And to a grieving person, this is horrible. You don't say that. Uh, you never say that because no, the person would rather have them there in their arms. And I know people who I'd rather have here. Um, or he said a youth pastor said because two of his friends died violently in a car crash. I'm not going to use their names. It's called Jim and Bob, and he said, "Well, I think Bob's in heaven, but I don't think Jim is." Or people had asked him, "Well, were they Christian? Were they saved?" And I've gotten remarks like this. After Father Bill left Holy Transfiguration and Father Wilbur David came in with his new congregation to Protestantize it, they thought they had learned everything about Orthodoxy. And as I said, orthodoxy and orthopraxy go together. They're the same thing. Orthopraxy is the orthodoxy. Um, I think that's most important, is how you practice. And but that's a side issue. Haria, which is the honorable title of in Arabic of the priest's wife, because she plays a certain role, kind of like the first lady. My god brother had said his mother passed away, and she said, and she asked him, was she saved? And he just looked down at the ground. He goes, no, she was Catholic. They don't have the idea of salvation, the get saved type of thing. But what I have to say about this is what a horrible, wicked thing. And I've seen all colors of Protestants do it. When somebody tells you they had a loss, what you tell them is, I'm so very sorry for your loss. And if they have anything to say, you listen. You don't tell them, you don't give them wisdom, you don't say words to try to comfort them, because your words can't comfort them, and your words will only fail. He actually said, when somebody said, well, were they Christian? He said, did she wear nail polish? What the hell does that have to matter with it? You know? And I've had it where people said things like that to me, and because I had gone to a very charismatic Anglican church for a few years when I first came into Christianity, and well, that's a tricky word. When I stopped going to the masjid, uh, and I must reiterate, youth pastors are the reason why Christ's name is blasphemed, why so many atheists come out of fundamentalism. The Kelly O'Connors, the Brian Flemings, were still Protestant fundamentalists. And there is a man who had contacted me, and he asked me about becoming Orthodox, and he wanted his congregation to become Orthodox. But I still I still know what the Protestants are, and I think they need to practice orthodoxy before you can give them any authority at all. I think making somebody a priest overnight just because their congregation converted, you should install an Orthodox priest for at least a year and a half and have that man serve as maybe as a presbyter, as a priest, but not the head priest. Or maybe he should be a deacon for a year, and then his church given back over to him to lead his flock, that his flock knows him. But this, why am I so angry at the Protestants? Because I'm ashamed to say I'm a Christian. So when you say you're a Christian, the Western God comes out. And I felt I almost need to apologize for the fact that I said I go to church to this man who's a friend of mine now. Shoot, my sister's friend. We had a great time last night. Talked about many things, sometimes hard, but I feel that I need to apologize to people because if I say I go to church or I'm Christian, because we do not believe in original sin. We do not believe just because somebody never heard of Christ or didn't profess a sinner's prayer is in hell and the other people are in heaven. We believe everybody goes back to God, all the souls. We believe even those that may be in hell right now can get out. There is still mercy. Our God is not a just God who loved us so much that he had to murder his son. You have to believe on his son or else. That's a bully. That's paying off a bully. It's the mafia. God is a God of love. And if somebody's been so hurt by the evangelicals and the Protestants and the Christians of this world, they have a burning hatred of God. They don't hate God. They hate the wrong concept of God. And if they love their family and do unto others as they would have done unto them, I expect to see them among the ranks of the Orthodox in paradise. You'll understand, hopefully, what the way I speak against Protestants and why I do. I'd like to wish peace to everybody out there. And it is because of the youth pastors and the charismatics and the evangelicals and the Protestants that we have people like Bill Bob and Deist Paladin and the Amazing Atheist. Just as I told you, my new friend George, who had wrote me, was Georgian, he said, had it not been for Orthodoxy, if I were a Protestant, I'd still be an atheist to this day. Because what an ugly thing. Protestantism is worse than all the pagan religions. I do not consider them my brothers. Why? Because they take the words of the Orthodox, they take our scripture, and then they misuse them and inject hatred and horror, and they idolize it. And they do so much damage that once somebody hears the name Jesus or Christ, their ears get shut and they say, I know what this person's up to. And it's because of the missionaries that go into the lands and try to evangelize to people who are already Orthodox, or evangelize to the Muslims when the Christians and Muslims have an agreement of no proselytization, and then the Muslims come back and attack the native Christians. The Buddhist is closer to me. Maybe I shouldn't say Buddhist. Maybe I should say many Muslims. The Zoroastrian definitely is closer to being my brother in Christ than most Protestants. And you'll understand why, because just using words like Trinity and the hypostatic union, if they're not in your heart, if you don't know why hypostatic union was and what it did, it doesn't matter that you use that word. Now, I'm not talking about the intellect, I'm talking about a God of love. And they believe in a just God who loved the world so much that he couldn't be merciful to anybody unless he sent his son to be tortured to death, and that's the only way for you to get to heaven. And that the woman whose child died, who's in screaming pain, who's dying of cancer, well, that's because original sin entered the world and she fully deserved every pain she got. No, we don't believe this. Peace to you. I am Orthodox, and I want all the Protestants who are damaged and spreading the filth. We need to have compassion on them. We should never encourage them. Let them come home and be healed and bring a message of love. If the Protestant God is real, I will reject him and fight him, even if it means I go to eternal hellfire. And even in this life, if there is an eternal hellfire that I go to, I'll go down there and I'll teach them to pray. And I'll teach them the words of the Orthodox Church of the God that should have existed. But we know this God does exist. He is the creator of us all. He knows us. He loves us. Peace to you. Thank you for watching my videos. I met a man last night who's seen a lot of death, who's experienced a lot of death. I thought I had experienced a lot of death, and as you saw the funeral, and we were talking, and naturally orthodoxy always comes up because it's just part of who I am. It's just too natural. And I was talking about the Satanic Bible with him, and if we die in a car crash right now, they're gonna think I committed apostasy and I won't get a burial. Well, I don't go that far, but he told the story that he parted on my icon corner, people close to me, any relatives, among others. But he has experienced more death from friends and family in the most unspeakable, terrible, violent ways of getting out of this world.